What's up, everybody? Today we are talking about law of attraction. We're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I don't want to waste any time, and I want to unpack this topic because it's one of my favorite topics to teach about. When we talk about law of attraction, many people know this from the book The Secret. If people have ever listened to Bob Proctor, you've seen it. If you're on YouTube, Instagram, you probably have heard people talking about the law of attraction, how you can manifest things with your thoughts. And there's two camps. There are people who are absolutely fanatical about it, and then there's the other camp of people who say it's absolutely woo woo, law of attraction is not real. I'm personally here to say that, in my opinion and in my life experience, law of attraction is very real. And that's because the law of attraction follows the law of vibration. So the law of attraction is secondary to the law of vibration. What the law of vibration states is that everything in the universe, everything in the known universe, is energy vibrating at a particular speed. And so the speed that it vibrates at, we call it a frequency. And so energy vibrating at a frequency is attracted to other sorts of energy that vibrate at the same frequency. Those energies come together, they attract towards one another. And this is what we see as the law of attraction. What's interesting is we as humans, our bodies, if you were to think of it as something else, think of it as a tuning fork. So if you've ever played musical instruments, maybe a piano, you've tapped a tuning fork and then you're trying to tune the keys on the piano to see which one is in resonance with the same sound on the fork. Our bodies are like that fork where you can hit it and it vibrates at a certain speed. What's interesting about the body vibrating at a certain speed is we have the capacity to change the tune, to change the frequency. And we do this through our thoughts. This is what's so cool. We can change our frequency by changing what we think about. And you felt this before. You've experienced this when you've been in a good mood and you're thinking good, positive, strong thoughts. You physically feel higher. You feel that you can take on more. There's a certain feeling that you have when you're in a joyous state versus when you're in a more depressed state. Let's say you just went through a terrible breakup or maybe somebody passed away and your body is still physically, you're the same weight, you've consumed the same amount of calories, like all the physical things you've done are the same, but your vibration, you can feel it. You're so much lower vibration. In fact, we even know this in a way that we communicate when we talk and we say a person has a high vibe or a low vibe, or hey, I like your vibe, or you passed the vibe check. So we actually talk about this stuff already. It's just, do we have a full understanding of what we're saying? Law of vibration is saying that anything on a frequency is going to be attracted to, it's going to come in harmony, and it's going to get closer to other things on that frequency. And so when you start to think about the life that you want to create, when you start to think about the sort of friends that you want to have, the sort of money you want to create, the experiences you want to have, I want you to think about it like this. Those things, that reality, that version of you already exist. It just exists on a different frequency. And my favorite way of putting this is think about it like a radio station, right? If you've got a radio over here and the radio is plugged into 97.1 and through the sound is coming rap music, and maybe you want to listen to some classical music. The classical music already exists. It's already playing right now in the airwaves. Classical music is flowing through the airwaves as we speak, but you and I do not hear it currently because our radio isn't tuned into that frequency. So when I start to turn the knob and now I get to 103.5, I can begin to hear the classical music. Now, did the classical music just appear or was it always there to begin with? The law of vibration says it was always there. It was already playing, but now that you're on the same vibration, you can actually, you're in harmony with it. Now it's coming to you. Now it's in your life. It's in your reality. That's how law of attraction essentially works. That's how the law of vibration works. It states that when you get yourself into the same frequency, you are now in harmony with the life you want, and it can begin to come to you. You can begin to see it manifest in the real world. And your thoughts are effectively how you change that tuning station of your body. Your thoughts are how you change the frequency. When you start to think about for example, I'm going to give you a prime example. I right now, as I'm filming this video, my thoughts have recently been on I want to film more content for YouTube about manifestation, about law of attraction, about law of vibration, about how we live in this simulation world. And you recently have been thinking you want to learn more about that. So your frequency and my frequency has brought us together in this video right now. You're watching this not just because of my frequency, but you're watching this because you also got on to the same frequency. So you and I are currently on the exact same frequency, which is really interesting. And so you thought about things that brought you here to this moment. Another example of this is 2 years ago, I was living in Arizona with one of my best friends, and he and his girlfriend decided they were going to move. They wanted to go into another state, and the house we were living in, it was his house. He wanted to turn it into an Airbnb. So I had about 3 months, a little less than 3 months, to go and find a new place to live. I decided that I didn't want to rent again. I wanted to buy a house. But here's the interesting thing. I hadn't been searching for a house up until that moment in time. I don't like I'm self-employed, so I won't qualify for a traditional loan. So it's not like I can just go out and shop for houses regularly. But I didn't let any of that bother me. I just made up my mind that I was going to get a house and I was going to have a house in time, that I wouldn't be out on the streets. I wouldn't have to go and rent a place. I would be perfectly fine. I'm currently living inside of $1 million property, 4,700 square feet. It's got a hot tub, a pool, an ice plunge, an indoor gym, a podcast studio. It's got all the things. And this house, I jokingly say it's my manifestation house because what I did was I got clear. I wrote down on a piece of paper. I started journaling about the sort of house I wanted to have. It would have high ceilings. It would have a certain feel to it. Like I wrote about all the things. And then I didn't stress out. I just trusted that it was on its way. And I held that faith. I held that trust in my mind. And now I'm currently living inside of that house today. Like right now, I'm filming from this house right now, the manifestation house, AKA the Mindset Manor. And so I say all this to impress upon you that your thoughts control your vibration. Your thoughts create your emotions. Your thoughts create your frequency. And when you're on that frequency, that's how you start to manifest. Here's a tip if you want to make it happen faster. A lot of people can get themselves onto that frequency for a period of time, but they typically don't stay there. They will focus on it maybe once a week on Saturdays when they've got some time after work. They'll sit down and think about what they want, what they really, really want. But the other 5, 6 days of the week, their minds are caught currently in their current circumstance. They're looking at where they are today. And you probably have done this before. You probably have decided you want to earn more money, you want to get a new job, you want to get new friends, new relationship, new hobbies, whatever it is. You made up your mind on the things you wanted, but then you found yourself getting caught back up in where you are currently. And you have to stay consistent with the thoughts. You've got to continuously hold the image of what you want out of life. You've got to stay on that vibration, stay on that frequency. And a great way to do this is, quite frankly, to keep talking about it. It's do things like this, like how you're watching this video right now. Keep listening to guys like me who are on this frequency, and you can feel it when I'm on this video. Like I'm talking from a place of, I am living this. Like I believe this to be true. And you want to put yourself around people who also know this stuff from an experiential standpoint. It helps you stay in the frequency longer. So keep watching these sort of videos, but then also when you're out in the world, don't allow other people to sway you away from what it is you want to create. They might say, hey, you're a little delusional. Hey, that's not going to work. If somebody can talk you out of your dreams, you haven't locked in enough faith and conviction behind it yet. So don't blame them either, because every time you talk to a person who may not agree with you, that person, look at them as a blessing. Like rejoice in that person's presence, because that person is ultimately trying to test your conviction. What good is faith if it can't be tested? If your faith cannot stand the test, it is not strong enough yet. So that's going to be one of the things that's going to help you with creating it faster. And also another thing is going to be, make sure you personally want the things you want. Have an actual desire for it of your own accord. Don't go and try to manifest something because somebody else wants it for you or someone else thinks it's an awesome idea, or else it's going to be more difficult to stay consistent with it. If you're actively trying to create the life, like for me, I'm creating the life that I want. This podcast studio, this house, this YouTube channel, all these things are things that I personally want. Like I enjoy doing this. even if nobody else gets value from this, even if only one person watches this video and that one person is me, I will have enjoyed this process because this is the life that I want to live. And so when I look at that, it makes it easy for me to keep coming back to these sort of thoughts and doing things that move me closer in this direction. So I want you to do the same thing. Guys, I'm gonna make more videos like this. So if you enjoyed this, due to the normal YouTube stuff, go ahead and hit the like button. Leave a comment too. I'm curious. I just want to hear your thoughts. Share whatever came to you, and I'll see you guys back here for another video.